Good morning. This is the Desert Shaman. Yes, it's morning here where I am. Nice day in the desert. Gonna do a real quick video on the nonsensical bullshit that is part and parcel of our everyday experience with, let's say, social media. I really get ticked off sometimes at these people because I realize that what they're doing is trying to entrap you, okay? Say on platforms like Pinterest, for example. I'm gonna talk about that for a minute. Not to mention Facebook and LinkedIn and every other fucking social media enterprise that we have here. Of course, we know it's a violation. Most of the stuff that they flag you for or get mad at you for or send you notices for are a violation of the First Amendment or the Fourth Amendment or whatever. I'll talk about that in a minute, but let's talk about, I had an experience today, and I get this all the time. I'm on what they call Pinterest. I'm sure people know what that is. It's a place where you can post photos, or let's say you can find photos and put them on some board that you create. I have a huge Pinterest account as far as boards go. I got all kinds. I got Shakti and Shiva and Eros, Eros, and art and yoga and just all kinds of things where I might be on Pinterest and might be checking my feed and find some really nice artistic photos. Some of them may be erotic, some of them may be sensual, some of them may be this, some of them may be that. I find these photos on Pinterest, okay? And I put them on a particular board that I have, say like, anarchy or warriors or whatever, yoga again. Invariably, I get some kind of notice from Pinterest saying, we remove one of your pins because it violates our community guidelines. It's hilarious because 99.99% of the pins I get come from Pinterest in the first place. So I just get tired of the bullshit. They put pins up, you put them on your board, and then they tell you they're wrong or that they violate community guidelines. So what the fuck are they doing on Pinterest in the first place? So I write them a letter, short note, say, look, 99% of the pins I get are from your website, from your little social media experiment here. So quit fucking sending me, warnings about it. We're taking this pin down. So I write them and I say, look, everything I gets from you guys in the first place, so police yourself. Look at yourself. If you don't want something up there, don't allow it to be on your site. It's as simple as that. This is a way to trick you. This is a way to, let's say, come on into our network, come on into our Pinterest here, use it, have fun. But, if you violate our community guidelines, then we're gonna drop the hammer on you and send you some kind of stupid ass notice, all right? Get the same thing with Facebook, get the same thing with LinkedIn, you get the same thing with YouTube. It's all a massive, massive trick, okay? They trick you into coming on, and then you use the thing, and then they try to make you feel guilty or make you feel bad or make you feel like you're going to lose your account or something. This is pure trickery, out and out trickery. Now, the First Amendment says freedom of speech, and the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution says, you shall not be infringed upon as far as them searching your personal information and harassing you about your personal, even in real life, the Fourth Amendment. They can't intrude upon what you do in your personal belongings or your personal house or whatever is personal to you. You have a right, okay, to do anything you want in the privacy of your own home or whatever, and you have a right to do whatever, you have a right to live your life without somebody constantly fucking harassing you, all right? Here's something they do that you may not know about as far as circumventing. How do they circumvent, your life? How do they? How is it that they can come on, okay, and check out things that are private to you, okay? So I was watching a video today by a known legal scholar, let's put it that way, who knows the law inside and out. Come to find out, what they're doing now is if they want to find out about you and what you're doing, let's say what you say on the phone or where you are, what your location is, where you drive, what you buy at the store, things of that nature. They circumvent having to get a warrant, okay, by asking whatever company it is for information about you, okay? Or they have a back door, they have access. And when I say they, I'm talking about whoever is out there policing things, whoever, the government, the deep state, the conglomeration of controlled media, whatever, the CIA, the FBI, it doesn't matter. If they want to find out what you're doing, they don't have a problem doing that. They circumvent getting a warrant, okay? So say, for example, you drive a fairly new car, and they want to know where you go. All they have to do is ask General Motors or whoever it is for the information from the chip in your car, like let's say you have OnStar or you have some, even radios or anything. They can use a chip in there to determine, let's say, what your location is or how far you drive or where you go. They have GPS on cars. Same thing with the phone. They have GPS on your phone. They have GPS in your fucking house, for that matter. I mean, even the smart meters that are computer controlled on your electricity, they know how much electricity you use, what you're using it for. Hell, they can take the wiring in your house and actually listen to your conversation. I mean, there is no refuge as far as if they want to know what you're doing or what you're buying. Let's say you go to a convenience store and you buy a pack of smokes or something, and they ask for a credit card. Well, that's, a license to be scanned, okay? That's illegal. That's a violation of your Fourth Amendment rights. Let's say you go buy, purchase a firearm at a sporting goods store and you use a credit card. Well, they automatically know, what you're doing. I mean, you can purchase online. Let's say you purchase things on Amazon and you get goods and services delivered to you, vitamins or wherever. They know exactly what you're doing because all they do is they go to that company and they say, we would like we would like the information on so-and-so. And they don't even have to ask that company. They're already plugged in, okay? They're plugged in. They're plugged into every social media, every credit card, every financial transaction, everything that you do. All they have to do to circumvent the Fourth Amendment of getting a warrant to find out, what you're doing or what you're saying, and they have to have probable cause to do that. But with this, there is no judge that they have to go to with a warrant. With this, there is no probable cause. They just violate your Fourth Amendment rights outright. Okay? That's what they do. So let's say, they want to, and it's all tied in with credit agencies and credit scores, and the whole thing is horrific. It's horrific, okay? So they're either trapping you on social media, they're putting up stuff that you can have access to, and then when you repost it or you put it up, they tell you you're violating some community guideline or something. It's really fucked, okay? I'm sick of it. I got off of Facebook just for this very reason. I had probably 5 pages on Facebook. I had about probably 4,000 or 5,000 followers, friends, whatever you want to call them, which is a big joke because all the people that ask to follow you are not necessarily your friends. They could be trolls, government agents, whatever. But anyway, in order to promote my books on different sites, and who I am or my videos or my books or whatever, I had several websites on Facebook, probably 4 or 5. Now, all the time I was on there, I'm like, well, this is not really something I want to do, but in order to network, well, you can't even network really, because if you have 4,000 or 5,000 people on there, you can't send them all a message at one time. They stopped that a long time ago. You can't say, hey, here's my book, or here's what I'm about, or send messages. Maybe 2 or 3 people at the most. You can do them individually, or you can go through and pick out people to send messages to, but you can't use it for networking. And when Facebook first came out, I'm like, Facebook, really? I mean, here's a mugshot of a guy. Facebook. It's like going to jail and getting a mugshot and your fingerprints, right? Oh, and let's have you enter all your personal information, where you live, your phone number, all that kind of shit. And then if that's not enough, all the private conversations that people have with their families, a lot of people use Facebook because they want to have their friends and families see pictures of their kids or what trip they went on or something of this nature. And yet they know everything, they have everything. It's like a mugshot. It's like a rap sheet. Okay, this is what I first thought when I went on. When I saw the term Facebook for the first time, I don't know how many years ago that was, I'm like, yeah. Just like when I heard the word Office of Homeland Security, and I immediately went, the fatherland, Office of Homeland Security. Sounds like some kind of Nazi-oriented situation. Okay, we must have secure country. No, I mean this stuff is out of hand. I mean, years ago when I was younger, you never ran into this kind of stuff. It's the same thing with words. It's the same thing with words. The trickery with words. Like years ago, you could say, "Oh, that person's retarded," but then along came the thought police and the word police, and said, "Well, we think it would be better if you would say something like mentally challenged," and then from there it went off into other things where you end up where you don't even know what you're talking about. You're using words that they want you to use. use, use words they want you to use. And if you use another word, yet I can come on here and say fuck on on YouTube and not have any problem at all. Okay. Now here's the irony about things. Let's just take for example, let's say you find an artful, I'm not talking about porn here. You find an artful photograph of, let's say, Tantra, or two people having Tantra, or some healthy sexual activity, some normal, healthful sexual activity. You put a picture of that, or you put a description, or you talk about it, and all of a sudden it's very, very fucking wrong. It's almost like, Quakers or something. It's almost like you're living in a zone of super Christianity where you can't say or do, or you're not to do this, and this is a violation of the commandments or whatever. Yet, on the other hand, how ironic it is that they can post and talk about LGBTQ and fags and drag queens and just horrendous shit. Okay, they can put this all over the internet, all over the news. They can promote. Hell, they even hang gay pride flags. This is something that's just off the charts. They can put gay pride flags on the statue of Iwo Jima. The famous statue where all the guys are raising the American flag on a mountain after a horrendous bloody battle where many people sacrificed their lives. You got the old vets from World War II who are hardly around anymore. They're probably rolling over, but to put a gay pride thing on the flag that they're raising at Iwo Jima, Clint Eastwood must be having a fit. He made a famous movie called something about Iwo Jima. There was a bloody battle and very, very marked in American history as one of the major places where people on both sides sacrificed their lives. And they're putting a gay pride flag on that, okay? This stuff is getting out of hand, okay? You got trannies at the White House. You got all this shit going on, right? Yet, if you put a artful picture of a nude or a painting, or let's say even a classical Rembrandt where there's breasts showing or whatever, all of a sudden you're a bad guy. All of a sudden you're to be dealt with. All of a sudden you're to be warned. Okay, we're warning you, our community guidelines. But look over here, we got a drag queen. That's okay. Or we might have articles on how 10-year-old kids can be have sex change operations, or this shit is how do they do both things? How do they come on so moral, okay, about even maybe pictures of war or erotic pictures or whatever? How do they come on so moral about that? But on the other hand, they're totally off the fucking charts. They're advertising very sexual things, showing bizarre people with purple hair and dressed up like women. Hello? What is wrong with this picture, people? How have you let this stuff, you people out there that are, let's say, part of the mass collective consciousness, you Americans, you people that value your freedom and, home of the free, land of the brave, that type of thing, the Constitution. How do you let them get away with this shit? Why is it that you're not taking a stand and standing up and speaking out and making your voice heard? How has it gotten to this extreme that I'm talking about here? All the things that I just talked about, violating everything. First Amendment, Bill of Rights, doesn't matter. They have a way around it. It's called a workaround, okay? There is no law anymore. There is no First Amendment and Fourth Amendment and this and that. All that stuff is non-existent for you. But for them, they can do anything they want. They can say anything they want. They can command you to say certain things or to not say certain things on penalty of being taken down or not allowed to communicate on a social media or whatever. And all the social media is co-opted or controlled by the deep state, by the weirdos, by the people that are pushing this shit, okay? So basically, you know, don't think of America, okay, land of the free and home of the brave and a democratic nation, democracy. They keep touting democracy. Matter of fact, that's why they go over and take over other countries and try to replace the leaders, is because they're dictators or they're tyrants. Or how can you get any more tyrannical than what we got going on right here in America? Hello? These people, and I beat this drum continually, but every time that I have something that pushes my button, like this ridiculousness with Pinterest, okay, it's just irritating. It's frustrating. You might find a platform like, I kind of liked that I'm on Instagram now. I guess that's part of Facebook too, but it's not as, I can get away with a little bit more just posting pictures. I've never had any warnings there, I don't think. Maybe one. But I'm fucking tired of people warning me about this and warning me you can't say this word, you can't say, we have anti-Semitism flag words, we have sexual flag words, we have, patriotic flag words, we have terrorist flag words, this and that and this and that and this and that. The NSA, the intelligence communities. In case you didn't know this, and I'm sure most of my listeners do, every word that you say on the telephone, every fucking word, every conversation, everything is recorded. It's recorded. Now, you would think, well, wouldn't they run out of recording room, or wouldn't they run out of space to store this stuff, or how does all this stuff work? It works against you. That's how it works. It works against you. But the way that it works technically is like if you go to Utah, there's a certain NASA headquarters there. They're all over the place, but there's one in Utah that's just giant. It's acres and acres of buildings. And what's in those buildings? Computers. Now, when you realize that computers have gotten down to the size of, a cell phone or smaller, chips and that kind of thing, when you realize how small of a chip can contain, a trillion gigabytes or 1,000 or 100 million gigabytes, then you're going to realize how they can store all this stuff, okay? And they store it, and they store it, and they store it. What the fuck are they storing it for? Here's another thing, that when the CIA wants to spy on somebody, supposedly it's only foreign people that they can spy on certain ways, and that they can't spy on American citizens. But yet they can go to a person in a foreign government like the MI6 or something and tell you from that country to spy on you and then get that information. You see how that works? It's not about laws anymore. There are no laws, okay? Rules of law and laws and all this all the semantics, the legalese surrounding lawyers and judges and institutions of the government, all this legalese, these words that you don't understand, okay? It all plays into it. It all plays into it. So anytime they want, the point I want to make here is there are no laws, there are no rules for those who rule us, okay? There's no laws, there's no rules, there's no procedures, there's no warrants, there's no rules for them, okay? And they do stuff all the time, like killing hundreds of thousands of people in wars and shooting people from drones in the air. All the stuff I just mentioned, they're totally outside the law, but yet you have to adhere to a certain law, whether it's gun control or drugs or, what you say or what you do or any of this kind of bullshit. You're constrained by laws and laws. You're a slave. You're a prisoner. Just because there's not bars around you, okay, doesn't mean you're not a prisoner. You're a prisoner. You're a prisoner. Step out of line, okay? Or refuse to follow a certain course of action indicated by the government, or refuse to, take part in a medical procedure. I always got to get that in there because it just irritates the fuck out of me. Or any procedure, anything that you have a personal right to choose. They have intruded like a fucking tsunami on your life, okay? And they got every aspect, every angle covered. So, when people think about, well, at some point we better, we can't let tyranny take control. Just because there's not cops in the street locking everybody down, and we come close to that, just because there's not martial law, just because there's not battles and wars and stuff going on in this country, it's relatively kind of cool, man. We can go to Starbucks, we can do this, and we think we're free. But you're not. And they're even doing it with the food. I mean, they're doing workarounds with the food. I mean, you're going and seeing meat being replaced by this phony meat that they make in labs, and this is good for you. This is better than this and that and that and that and this. And then you got them telling you that, that you can't eat meat, or you should, and we're going to get rid of the cows, by the way. We're going to get rid of the cows because cows fart and they cause global warming, and they affect really people. Cows farting affect, we got to get rid of them. Let's put them all to death because they affect the environment. How about dogs? How about horses? How about people? They fart too. Does that affect the climate as well? This stuff is insane. It's fucking insane. I mean, and people really, they really believe this? You people might really buy into that? All I can do is shake my head and just say, we're out where the buses don't run, people. We're in total lockdown on a level that you don't even realize, okay? You think you're free. I mean, you can walk from your house to your car. You can say hi to your neighbor. And right now, that is. Why do you think they're storing all this stuff up? Why do you think they're at NSA? It's close, NSA, another government agency that's worthless. Why do you think that they're storing all this stuff up in these computers? What is that for? How does that work? Is there gonna be a big judgment day where they come and droves of police and military and pick up everybody that said the word anti-government or the word patriot or the word gun or What are they going to do? Go out in massive force and arrest everybody that said this or that? They couldn't do that if they wanted to. See, that's the joke. It's all psychological control. You could never have martial law, not really in the United States. There's not enough military people and cops. This is a fact. Okay, I read this in a report, a government report or an official report. There's really not enough police and cops and military and this National Guard. They're depleted. They're severely depleted. Nobody wants to be in the military anymore. There's not enough military. They're firing, they're getting rid of cops. So you think that they're going to be able to go out in swarms and just arrest everybody that says this or claims to be a patriot? Or they can't. They use tactics of fear. They'll arrest a few people, like at the January 6th thing, incarcerate them, throw them into solitary confinement, not let them talk to a lawyer and this and that. This is all illegal as well. This is all a violation of the law as well. The law is being violated here, people. And these people are criminals. They're gangsters. They're outlaws. They're vicious. They don't give a shit about you at all. They're out to get you. They're out to control you. They're out to enslave you. They're out to channel your energy, even steal your energy. Man, they got shit in outer space now. You don't know what they got now. All this Starlink systems and all this stuff. So yeah, I got off on a tangent here, and it's a good one because it originated with just a little button being pushed in me. By just when you're having fun and just when you're relaxing and you're doing something artful or whatever, here comes Big Brother. Here comes the big bad police state. Okay, saying that you can't do that, but it's all based on fear. They couldn't really control everybody if they wanted to. Okay? Yes, they are controlling you by, in that aspect, and that's the way they do it. But physically, they can't come out and control you and throw you in FEMA camps and all that bullshit that people are paranoid about. They can't do that. But they can imprison you, your mind, okay? They can imprison your emotions. They can imprison your feelings and your thoughts. They can control your anger. They can cause anger. They can cause frustration. This is the way they police you. You think that's any different than being in a jail? I got news for you. It's not. It's not. I've been in jail, okay? In the 60s, I was in jail. They would arrest you just to throw you in jail overnight and then have you get out the next day, just to harass you, okay? I've been through that ball game, and when you're in there, you're realizing that the people out there think they're free when they're not. It's just like in there, okay? And no, I don't have a record. I have a high security clearance, actually, but that's another story. So this is just a video for me to vent. This is a video for Thunder to vent, right? I do that all the time. I vent, okay? And then I figured, well, there's other people out there that are having the same fucking problem. So maybe they can identify, right? Anyway, I'll leave it there today. Adios.